Voters head to the polls in November to pick their U.S. representatives. Voting is something activists on both sides of the abortion debate say is important to do after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, ending the federal constitutional right to an abortion. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake looks into what the Supreme Court could do next.
You've probably seen this headline everywhere, a snippet from Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas's opinion on overturning Roe v. Wade. He suggests rethinking precedents on contraception and LGBTQ rights. So I dug a little deeper today. Here's what Justice Thomas writes just before the part about reconsidering other cases. He says our decision concerns the constitutional right to abortion and no other right. Nothing in this opinion should be understood to cast doubt on precedents that do not concern abortion. He continues, for that reason, in future cases, we should consider all of this court's substantive due process precedents. That term, substantive due process, comes from the 14th Amendment. It essentially means there are rights not stated in the Constitution, but are so fundamental that the government must respect them. What those rights are is up to interpretation. That's how we got the right to same-sex marriage and contraception. Justice Thomas argues any substantive due process decision is demonstrably erroneous. In other words, he doesn't like the idea. That's why he wants to reconsider the cases that led to the right to same-sex marriage and contraception. It's important to note none of the justices who voted to overturn Roe v. Wade mention anything about reconsidering other cases. Justice Samuel Alito wrote those cases do not destroy potential life, but an abortion has that effect. Guilford College professor Christian Mateus specializes in justice and policy. Winston-Salem State professor Dr. Denise Nation specializes in history, politics, and social justice studies. Neither could speculate on if or when the justices could discuss previous cases, just that Justice Thomas's comments stir the pot. Both say the bigger issue here is the peeling away of rights.
The erosion of protections, at least the 14th Amendment, we've seen by the overturning of Roe v. Wade, was a key domino to fall.
If the court is willing to overturn its own precedent on this particular issue, we have to be cognizant that the court probably is open to overturning other precedents.
Dr. Nation says these are issues that are going to be instrumental for the next 10, 15 to 20 years. So the only way to have your voice heard is to head to the polls.